Russian painting they gave to me. He's beginning to go and talking to them. And I said, what am I going to do with this? And I said,
Oh, that was really good.
You notice how nice the temple looks?
oh,
She and Virginia are doing painting.
oh,
Lily also
wow.
doing painting. Do you notice how the gold at the bottom, not the very top, but you notice how gold in the tree and stuff is so bright?
I do see that, yes. It is, it's beautiful.
Wow.
Oh, very nice.
It's just made it
For the paint?
continue.
Are you going over all the paint? Wow. How long has it been?
Since sometime that was on the picture.
That's beautiful.
I tried that. And he said you didn't have to go up and get a special ladder to get.
That's how she heard it.
Yeah, just now coming.
That was something as well. I would like the grateful dancing in life looks like it easy.
Correct. I didn't keep writing it first. A devotee.
That was actually
Right.
Okay. Go and blow the punch. Can't blow it. Doesn't have to blow it.
Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Nami Hare ISKCON की बांद्रा चर्च श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय जय प्रभुपाद परमहंस श्रीमद Divine Grace श्रील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय रामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर जय Thank you for Shri Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Radha Shri Vasavi Gaur jai Shri harekrishna Gopaljan Shyam Sundar Giri Gopaljan ki jai Radhanath ki jai Mayapur Dham ki jai Jagannath Puri Ram ki jai Kamdalani ki jai Kamdalani ki jai Ek ki jai Swami ki jai Shri Radhanath Kirtan ki jai Krishna Bhakti ki jai Shri Prabhupada ki jai Samaveda Bhaktivinoda ki jai All glory to the Son of the Lord
Harekrishna.
All glory to the Son of the Lord
Harekrishna.
All glory to the Son of the Lord
Harekrishna.
All glory to Guru and Ratha Namaste Narasimhaya Namaste Narasimhaya Allah
He's here. How are you in tennis? There you go.
Okay, Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you so much for coming. We've got a very special and honored guest, very dear friend of our community, so many devotees in the community, and of all of you. His Holiness Radhanath Swami. So for some of you who may not know Radhanath Swami so much, I'm just going to give a little brief bio, and then another few words, and then when he's ready, he'll give us a wonderful discourse on Krishna consciousness. So, His Holiness Radhanath Swami was born in Chicago, USA. In his teenage years, he embarked on a journey of spiritual discovery that led him to England, and from there he hitchhiked to India. In 1971 in Bombay, India, he met his guru, Srila Prabhupada, and wholeheartedly embraced Srila Prabhupada's teachings. Initially, he served Srila Prabhupada in India, and then he returned to the USA to serve at ISKCON, an ISKCON West Virginia farming community. In 1973, he was initiated by Srila Prabhupada. Radhanath Swami later moved back to India and developed the renowned ISKCON Chowpatty project, widely known as the exemplary ISKCON temple and community, very loving community. He also spearheaded development of the award-winning Govardhan Eco Village in Maharashtra, India. The Swami, Radhanath Swami, is the author of two very wonderful books, and I definitely encourage you to get these books. They're back in the corner there. So after listening to his lecture, I know you're going to want to take some of Radhanath Swami home with you, and you can take him home with you in his books there. And just a word, about Krishna consciousness. One of the sweet effects of chanting Krishna's holy names with devotion is that the heart becomes very soft, kind, and caring of others. One will see other souls as friends, and in a thoughtful way, one finds ways to share Krishna consciousness with them. Radhanath Swami is such a genuine friend to all living beings and to us here. And he speaks from the heart, and his words connect with the heart. So please listen attentively to his talk and enjoy the journey that his words will take us on here tonight. So Radhanath Swami, welcome. Thank you very much.
ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाकाया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी अस्त्रत्यदेशकारिणे। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिकान्त राधा नमोस्तुते। भक्तकंचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि। वंशकल्पातरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानन्द श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे।
I'm very grateful to be with all of you this evening. Is everyone able to hear?
Yes. Turning it up.
It is always such a pleasure and fortune to be here in SanDiego, this very auspicious historical temple of Shri Radha. Profoundly grateful to His Holiness Padre Narayan Maharaj for so kindly inviting me to be here with you this evening. In very lovingly, gentle but persuasive words, He attracted me to come.
Yeah.
This morning I was at the small ashram of His Holiness Swami Maharaj in Carpinteria, California, somewhere near Santa Barbara. And I was thinking that I wanted to be in a quiet place because the material world is very noisy. And of course, being with devotees is very full of transcendental sound vibration. But still, I wanted to be in a place where I could not have to interact with people. So I took the train. It's about 6.5 hours train. And when I first got on the train, there was only 2 other people in the compartment. And I was really happy. Then a group of ladies came. And they were coming to SanDiego for a high school reunion. And they looked like they were about 65 years old each. They were in the class of 1970 or something. And they were all meeting there on the train. They were sitting right in front of me. After some of them hadn't met in many years, even decades. And on every stop, more ladies. And they had reserved seats close to each other, but we stopped. More ladies were coming on and coming on, and we were so happy to see all the other ladies and trying to recognize who was who and everything else. It was tumultuous. So we're talking and talking and talking and laughing. And I was thinking, why is this happening? Betrayed because I wanted to be in the quiet. And they were talking, and it was ever increasing. Their enthusiasm to meet each other. More come out, more come out. It was a reunion. So that's true. Prabhupada taught us we should, every situation we're in, what am I supposed to learn from this? And how can I best serve Krishna in this situation? What is the opportunity that arises? I was recently listening to a lecture of Srila Prabhupada. It was a verse of Prahlad Maharaj praying to Lord Narasimha. And Srila Prabhupada, in his lecture, was talking about suffering. He said, devotee does not think that Krishna is giving me this suffering. In fact, Prabhupada says Krishna does not give suffering. A devotee sees that this is due to my previous activities in this life and in past lives. And the situation, whatever it is, it's Krishna's favor because he minimizes it to only a fraction if we're trying to be devotees. And gives us his shelter when we come to him in that situation. Sometimes when devotees are in a difficult situation, why is Krishna doing this to me? Why does Krishna do this? Srila Prabhupada quoted that illustrious verse from the Srimad Bhagavatam spoken by Lord Brahma. Tatem dukam bhavam susamikshamano puntane devatmat kritam pipagam ripadu purvir pudadam namaste jiveti amukti pade sadhaya. That whatever suffering comes, I deserve so much worse. It's the laws of nature acting. But Krishna is doing two things. He's giving me only a token minimum, and also in that situation, giving me shelter. The opportunity to take shelter. Because without a sense of necessity, our tendency is to be complacent. You're starving. You're really serious about getting some prasad. But if you just take a feast, you're not really so serious about getting prasad. In Ayurveda, there's this principle that hunger is essential for good health. Because without hunger, there's no digestion. And without digestion, the nutrients of food do not really come to us. So that feeling of necessity, that feeling of hunger, the feeling of need, it's important to actually learn to take shelter of Krishna. Maharaj Parikshit, he was asking questions to Sukadeva Goswami. He was going to die in 7 days. There was a sense of real necessity he wasn't just listening. He wasn't trying to memorize some really attractive stories for his next lecture. He was desperate. I need to hear. He was in rapt attention. Similarly, when we chant the holy names, Srila Prabhupada explained like a little baby crying out for mother at a time of great need. If the baby really is in danger, it doesn't go, because it doesn't even get the mother's attention. It just goes, We've all been in enough Srimad Bhagavatam classes to know what it sounds like when the baby really cries. It's a sense of need. So in every situation, when we know that there's suffering in this world, or imminent, we take shelter. Not out of curiosity, not just out of ritual, because we understand the need to take shelter. When we were driving here to the temple, Yudhisthira Prabhu and Radha Devi, we were driving out of the little compound and there's this metal black gate that was blocking us. We pressed some button and the gate. Hari. Very slowly opened. I was thinking, in the spiritual world, there's no security systems. Because there's no fear. Practically every aspect of life in this world, there's so much fear. The news provides so much fear. Dukkhalayam Shashvatam. It's the age of Kali. Sometimes we think as people become progressive in science and technology and civilization, as we may call it, that there's less fear. But there's not that much less fear today than there was 20 years ago, 50 years ago. So many locking systems, so many security systems, so many alarm systems, militaries, of numerous countries. The largest part of their whole budget is in weapons to defend themselves. You want us to speak about medicine? How much money is invested? I was at a conference a few years ago, very high professional people. And some of the top people in the medical field were saying that the people who are living today in this world, half of men and 1/3 of women will have some sort of cancer in their lifetime. And we see so much around us, people we know. And there's heart disease. In India, a little mosquito bites you, and you get dengue fever, death-threatening. Or if you're lucky, you might get malaria, which is also death-threatening. To speak of everything else, Pakistan has atomic bombs pointed at every city. And here in America, a little tick bites you, and you can be diseased for life. ticks are so small you don't even know they're there. And then there's bacteria that are fractions of an event. So we see it, we know it. And the economic fear, poor people are fearful. How will we survive? And even the wealthiest people, there's so much fear because they know everything could be taken away. Life itself could be taken away. Loved ones die. So there is a necessity. We just open our eyes and open our hearts to the reality of the situation. There is a necessity for shelter of the higher power of Krishna's grace, God's grace. And by satsang, by being in the association of devotees of the Lord, people really who understand that there is this higher and highest purpose of life that is accessible to everyone. We try to remind each other so we're not distracted. When we're not seeking shelter of the highest truth, when we're not taking shelter, knowing it's our only real hope of happiness and peace and purpose in life, and we take shelter of endless distractions, symptomatic relief. So in this way, Srila Prabhupada was explaining that we don't see that Krishna is giving the suffering. We're saying it's just the nature of material existence. And we don't feel necessarily guilty or depressed. What must I have done to deserve this? But we'll see things not in that negative way. Enough so we don't do bad things again. We should have enough guilt so we don't repeat those unethical, immoral activities. But our real focus is, Krishna's there for me. I just seek shelter. Sharanagati. So back to the train this morning. These ladies were talking and talking and talking, and they were pretty old. I was amazed how much energy they had, and how loud their voices were, and how enthusiastic. And the things they were talking about, honestly, as a little Swami sitting in the corner of the window, wasn't interesting at all. But I was thinking, what opportunity is here? And I found one. Would you like to hear?
Yes.
How could, in my talk tonight at Radhanath's temple with their beloved associates, the devotees, how can I get some message to speak? And I processed it. And I couldn't think of anything in the train. But I just thought of one. Can I tell you?
Yes, please.
I'm going to speak about another reunion of old friends that used to go to school together. It was Krishna and Sudama. In this passage from the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Parikshit Maharaj, he's just heard the first 9 cantos. He's heard Krishna's Vrindavan Leelas. And now he's coming close to the end of Krishna's pastimes narration. And he's listening and hearing. And by this latter part of the 10th canto, he's only a day or two away from death. And he's speaking about how happy he is hearing about Krishna. How this world is so much full of fears and so much full of worries and miseries. It's a place where everyone has to die. And everyone we love has to die. And everyone we don't love is going to die too. But Krishna tells Gita there's no such thing as death. Because the true living being is the soul, and we're eternal. Ajayate mriyate vakadacha. Nahanyate nanamane sarire. But still, the connections we have on the mental and physical levels are destined to be terminated. But devotees transcend this because they taste the nectar of immortality by hearing the beautiful pastimes of the Lord and chanting those pastimes. And Parikshit Maharaj is explaining that a devotee learns to see Krishna in everything and in everyone. Krishna is the Paramatma in the heart of every living being. Krishna is in every atom of everything that exists. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna teaches us, and Srila Prabhupada emphasized these verses a lot, how we can see Him everywhere. Rasoham apsoham deya prabhashmi shashishu ganava sarva vedishu shabdake purusham. And the taste of water. We can only taste something because of the water in it. That quality. Did you ever try to eat sand? Because it's so dry. It's really miserable. It's the moisture in something that gives it a taste. That water is Krishna. That taste. So whatever we eat, Prabhupada even said, if a person is drinking wine, if he's thinking Krishna's the taste of this wine, he'll make progress because he's remembering Krishna. And the progress is that gradually you'll give up drinking wine. And eat prasad. The devotee not only remembers Krishna, but appreciates Krishna. Krishna says, I'm the light of the sun and the moon. He's all light. The light in the light bulbs is coming from the energy of the sun. The light and the heat coming from whether it's coal or wood, that energy originates in the sun. All the light and heat is coming from the sun and the moon. And we remember Krishna in that. And we appreciate, we're grateful to Krishna. Sarva yonishu kondeya morateya sambhavanteya tasan brahmayam mahajuniya aham bija pradapita. I am the seed-giving Father of all living beings. All living beings are coming from me. Janmadya Shahyataha, everything is coming from me. So a devotee learns to see everything in relation to Krishna. Sees everything as Krishna's energy. Krishna's the creator, the maintainer, and ultimately the apparent destroyer of whatever exists. And when we see Krishna in it, then we become transcendentally situated. Bhagavad Gita tells that in such a transcendental state of mind, of seeing the presence of God in everything and everyone, we see stones, pebbles, or gold with equal vision. Now, on the worldly level, we understand there's different values. But from Krishna's perspective, if we offer gold, or if we offer a simple flower, he accepts the devotion. He accepts the love. So really the only thing that is of true value in creation is recognizing Krishna supreme, all-attractive, blessing and love in our life, in everything, in every opportunity, in every situation, and reciprocating with a grateful heart by offering our love. Krishna, this is yours. SanDiego, harekrishna. How can I please you? Parikshit Maharaj tells Sukadeva Goswamiji that for a very advanced devotee, they do recognize Krishna in everyone and everything. We may hate the sin, but we love the sinner. Because that sinner, the soul, the jiva, is a part of Krishna, a child of Krishna. For those who are not on that platform, we can't be artificial. We should be striving for that. But we learn to offer our respect to the spiritual masters, to the devotees, to those things, to those people that actually really help us to see Krishna everywhere. And for those who are a little less, we come to the temple. And on the altar, Krishna is standing with Sri Radha. In various religions, there's an altar with the reverence or presence of God. So we offer our respects and bow to that. And Srila Prabhupada explains our devotion, our love, our spiritual progress is determined by how much that loving propensity expands from just Krishna to the devotees of Krishna, the gurus, and gradually to all living beings. That's the goal of bhakti. When you water the root of the tree, that water naturally extends to every part of the tree. So as Parikshit Maharaj was sharing this realization, Shukadeva Goswami got really enthusiastic. His student was so excited. He was getting so many good realizations. And then Shukadeva Goswami told the story about a reunion. I will speak it very briefly. Sudama was a friend of Krishna when he was a child. He was a Brahmin by his role within society. And he just didn't have any attachments to material things. He and his wife, they both lived materially in great poverty. Perhaps they lived in a little straw hut, perhaps with a dirt floor. We've seen people who don't have much. And their clothes were all torn and worn. And because they hardly ate any food, they were very thin and badly sized. So Sudama's wife, she wasn't thinking of herself, she was thinking of her husband. My husband is such a great devotee of Krishna. But still he has his body, and his body is suffering too much. He doesn't have anything. So she requested her husband, for his sake, because of her love for him. You're old friends with Krishna, and now he's living in Dwarka, in beautiful, magnificent palaces. And Krishna's the super soul in everyone's heart. And he's always favorable to his devotees. So if you go to him, he will be so happy to give you enough to live comfortably. Please go to Krishna. It breaks my heart to see you in this condition. Sudama didn't care at all about asking Krishna for anything. He was concerned with his wife. My wife is unhappy. And it breaks my heart to see her unhappy. So I'll go to Krishna for her sake. And he said, I'll go, but Krishna's the supreme worshipable Lord of all living beings. We have to offer him some gift. But there was nothing in their house. How many of you have literally nothing in your house? You know, I've seen some of the poorest families in India living in houses they're just made out of flattened out oil cans. You see? And most of them have television antennas coming out. They have televisions. So they don't have much. People living in the streets, even they have something. But Sudama, his wife, really didn't have any. So she had to go out and beg. And she got dry chipped rice. It's the simplest, cheapest food. And if you're a beggar in India, any shop you go to, they'll give you some chipped rice. Because it costs practically nothing. Very rarely will they give you gulab jamans, or samosas, or something. Chipped rice, they'll throw it in your mouth. So she came back and wrapped in an old tattered cloth 4 handfuls of chipped rice. Jira. She tied it up nicely in a little bundle and gave this to Krishna. Sudama was walking to Dwarka. Have any of you been to his house? It's still there. It's in the state of Gujarat, a place called Porbandar. And there's a temple there, which was the home of Sudama Vipra and his illustrious, exalted wife. And it's not so far from Dwarka. So he walked When he reached Dwarka, the most magnificent city in the world, everyone was in such royal attire. And here's little Sudama, this tattered little cloth wrapped around his waist. Soiled. And he's given entrance right into the bedroom of Krishna in the most magnificent palace of Dwarka. And Krishna's sitting with Rukmini, the goddess of fortune. As soon as Krishna was sitting on his bedstead, which had beautiful pillows, when he saw Sudama, he jumped up from his bed towards the city of the goddess of fortune, and he hurried to Sudama, very lovingly embraced him. He took Sudama by the hand and put Sudama on his own bed to sit, with all these luxurious decorations, cushions. And Krishna personally washed Sudama's feet. He massaged his legs. Rukmini, the goddess of fortune with the charmer, was fanning him. And Krishna was offering so many simple menial services out of love for his devotee. He fed Sudama wonderful food, spoke so many words of gratitude. Krishna's telling him, you are so kind that you have come to bless me. And after Sudama was completely satisfied, and Krishna offered him the best of everything, they began to reminisce. Very unlike those ladies in the train. But in the same way, very much like it too. In the emotion of old friends coming together after so many years, remembering the old days. Krishna told Sudama, do you remember when we lived together, SanDiego Muni's ashram, our guru? We were so fortunate. We learned from our guru, and we had the opportunity to serve. Parvati Pranipatina Pariprashena Sevaya Upedekshante Jnanam Jnaninaste Pradarshana. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna tells, just try to understand the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire submissively, humble oneself, and render service. Krishna not only spoke it, but he did it. He showed by his own example. He and Sudama learned so many different subjects from their guru. Krishna says in Gita, Vedaham Samatitani Bharatamamami Chaushana Avashami Tributani Mam Dveda Nakashana. He knows everything past, all things happening in the present, and all things that are to come. He knows all living beings. Vedaishcha Sarverameva Vidyo Vedanta Krit Veda Vedeva Cham. He's the knower of the Vedas. He's the compiler of Vedanta. And by all Vedas, he's to be known. He's Jagat Guru, the original, supreme, ultimate, spiritual master of all spiritual masters. but yet he's sitting at the feet of his guru, asking relevant questions and rendering service. Krishna told Sudama, one day the wife of our guru asked us to collect some wood for the sacred fires. So we went to the forest to collect wood. Anybody could do that. You don't need an education. Krishna was just doing things that anyone and everyone could do. But he was doing it with so much gratitude and to set an example for us. They were deep in the forest, collecting little pieces of wood. Suddenly there was a dust storm. Then thunder. Wow, thunder. The earth was shaking. Then lightning. Sorry, Judy. We all have our techniques of trying to wake up the audience. Then massive rainfall. Krishna said it wasn't just a rainfall, it was like a deluge. Like that. It was freezing cold. It became pitch dark. And they were trembling. They were very young. They were hardly teenagers. They were trembling and trembling all night long. They were trying to find their way, but it was raining so hard, and the thunder and the lightning, and they couldn't see which direction they were going. So they just stood there all night long. And the Guru and his wife and his disciples, the next morning they went out looking, and they found Krishna and Sudama. And when his Guru met them, he was so compassionate. He was so grateful that you have endured so much suffering and pain and risk just to serve your spiritual master. How much he felt indebted. And he congratulated Krishna and Balaram. Just recently in New Dwarka, during the Srila Prabhupada festival, there was a video, or actually a lecture of Srila Prabhupada that was played. And there are similar lectures. Srila Prabhupada was giving such profound gratitude to his disciples. There was a time when Radha Gokulananda were being installed at Bhaktivedanta Manor on Janmashtami. It was one of the most historical days in ISKCON, because Bhaktivedanta Manor, the mansion, was personally donated with love and gratitude by George Harrison of the Beatles. Srila Prabhupada made it his European headquarters. And he spent so much time there. When he installed Radha Gokulananda, there's many photographs and even film footage of him offering arti and dancing in front of the deities. And devotees, especially leading devotees from all over Europe and all over the world, came for this great occasion. The next day was Srila Prabhupada's Vyasa Puja. his Appearance Day celebration. During Srila Prabhupada's lecture, he quoted from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita hadn't come out yet in a published form. And Srila Prabhupada said, it is now coming out. And he said, it is all due to the devotion and hard work of Prajumna, Mahashai. Mahashai. That's the title Jiva Goswami gave Narottam Das Thakur. And Prabhupada said it is all because of his hard work that Chaitanya Charitamrita is coming. Then he started describing all the great things that various of his disciples do. Arundhati, he was glorifying her. Here it is, it's his birthday. The time when people from all over the world are coming to glorify him, especially. So many were there. And he was congratulating his devotees for the sacrifices, the hardships, the difficulties that they endure to serve. And he saw them making such wonderful spiritual advancements, so he was so happy. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung that Krishna, the difficulties I endure in serving you and pleasing you are the greatest source of happiness for me. Madhavi Devi asked me to speak tonight on the subject of taking one's own selfish interests out of the center of our life and understanding that true happiness and true spiritual progress comes from Siddhi Paritosha when we try to please Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught us how to please Krishna. Gopi Bharathur Padakamalayam Das Das Anudas. By being the servant of the servant of the servant of the servant. When we really care about the spiritual upliftment and the happiness of other devotees and people in general, that gives Krishna the most pleasure. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he identified himself in one place as a gardener who had so many fruits, the fruits of love of God. And he said, I have limitless fruits of love of God. Anyone who tastes one will be happy forever. But how many can I distribute with my two hands? I am asking all my devotees, help me to distribute these fruits of love of God. Krishna praying. How dear Srila Prabhupada was. He took so much risk, endured so many challenges, because he saw the potential of loving Krishna in the heart of all living beings, and he wanted to give everyone that opportunity. And even though he took so much risk and so many challenges, at his age, Jalbatu to 38 days, he said, when I came to New York, I had no friend, no means. I was practically like a vagabond wandering the streets. He left the holiest of all holy places, Vrindavan, Radhanath temple, to do this. And those who came to help him, he was so grateful. So much deep affection. Prabhupada said you can show your love for me by cooperating with each other. It's not just a managerial technique. It's because whatever our faults may be, Srila Prabhupada is deeply grateful for all those who have endeavored to help him in this great mission of distributing fruits of Krishna praying. So they were discussing all night long the old days at the ashram. It was a school reunion. And in the morning, Krishna saw that little tattered, soiled bag hanging from the shoulder of Sudama. He said, "Oh, you have brought me something?" Sudama was looking. Krishna just gave him the most opulent, succulent, delicious feast in his royal palace. And he's going to give Krishna this kind of dirty old chipped rice. He was ashamed. He said, "No, Krishna, I don't have anything." Krishna snatched it. Amazing. Krishna says, offer me even a leaf, a fruit, a little water, or a flower with devotion, and I will accept it. Sudama didn't even offer it. Krishna was hungry for that. He wasn't hungry for chipped rice. He was hungry for the love of his devotees. This is Parabrahman. There is an aspect of God, Brahman, the Brahma Jyoti, the all-pervading, infinite, endless light of truth. And in that, there is a complete state of Shanti, absolute. But beyond that, the Srimad Bhagavatam declares there's Bhagavan, Parabrahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who's Rasa Vihari. Complete Atma Rama, self-sufficient, the source of everything that exists, doesn't need anything, but is hungry for the love of his devotee. Krishna snatched that little sachet and opened it up and took that chipped rice and put a little morsel in his mouth. At that point, Rukmini stopped him from taking more. She's the goddess of fortune. She's the source of all wealth. She's that divine feminine energy that's the source of everything that exists in this material world. She's Mother Earth. Bhumi Devi as an expansion of her. She said, Krishna, you have taken one morsel out of love for your devotee. Just by that, you will satisfy the entire universal creation. Don't take any more. What will happen if you take more? So she stopped him from taking more. Some commentators say that she wanted some herself. Now there's Maha Prasad of Krishna. So he just took one little morsel of chipped rice, which is literally worth nothing monetarily. And they spend some time, and then they Krishna embrace Sudama. The people of the palace, Harekrishna, he's embracing this very, very skinny, poverty-stricken Brahmin with so much affection, and he's washing his feet, and he's worshiping him. Sudama was so humbled by it all. Krishna's so merciful. He's so grateful for everything and everyone, even the smallest. They bid it farewell, and Sudama was walking home. It's kind of a long walk. And as he was walking home, he was in so much happiness, remembering all the details of his past time with Krishna. But he never asked Krishna for anything. It was impossible in his heart to ask Krishna for anything. Prahlad Maharaj offered a similar prayer to Narasimhadev. Narasimhadev offered Prahlad anything and everything. After all he endured, remained faithful. And little Prahlad said, 5 years old, that if I ask anything from you in return for my devotion and my sacrifice, I'm not a devotee. I'm just doing business with you. I'm not a merchant, I'm a devotee. Whatever I'm offering is for your pleasure. We cannot imitate such great souls. But we understand this is the actual standard that we should be striving for. This is pure devotion, this unmotivated, uninterrupted love. So Sudama walked and walked, just remembering Krishna's mercy upon him. Who is Krishna? He's the supreme absolute truth. He's the supreme personality of God. He's the cause of all causes. He's the husband of the goddess of fortune. And who am I? That was Sudama's thinking. I'm just a little soul. A poverty-stricken little Brahmin who is nothing. And yet, Krishna embraced me with his own arms and showered so much love and affection on me. That is God. But still, he didn't ask for anything. He was completely satisfied. When he came to the place that he thought was his home, he didn't recognize it. There was magnificent palaces, more valuable than the abode of Indra, the king of heaven. It was incredible what was there. And he saw beautiful people. They were like demigods in wonderful clothing. There was lakes, beautiful trees. The palaces were marble and ivory and all sorts of jewels. And then he saw this lady who looked like she looked like a resident of a heavenly planet. And she came to him with tears in her eyes, smiling. She knew exactly what happened. And that was his wife. And they entered their palaces together. Sudama and his wife, their only prayer was, whatever we have or don't have, it's all to please you. We are the servant of your servants. Srila Prabhupada explains in Krishna book that if a devotee is living with very little, they're happy, just chanting the holy names, being with devotees, taking a little prasad and serving, because their happiness is within, in their bhakti. And if devotees have great wealth, they have high positions, they're just as happy. Bhaktaram jagatapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram suhritam sarvabhutanam yatmamam shanti. Srila Prabhupada explains such a person who is entrusted with great wealth and influence, they understand the real great service that they could render is by being exemplary to others, by using it in the spirit of seva or service. That's what spiritual progress is. I've seen people like this. There's one family in Mumbai, an amazing family. At one time, CEO of international corporation, and an ancestral home, which was magnificent. So, the husband and the wife came to me once and said, we don't like to have more than others. We don't need any of this. We could just live in the simplest little apartment. They would have joined the ashram if that would be the best way for them to serve. And remembering Srila Prabhupada's example, you could serve Krishna better just where you are, the way you are. When people see somebody working in such a way, but it's from the core of their heart, are instruments of Krishna's compassion. What an example that is. And I've seen people, even my own mother and father, when I went to India and came back as a sadhu, they were really bewildered. And they really didn't understand our movement so much until they came to India and they went to this house and they stayed at this house. These people were so humble. Everything they were doing was for the well-being and benefit of others, for the pleasure of Krishna, of God. My parents were weeping. Now we understand what Krishna consciousness is. We could relate to this. And then they could understand my renunciation or whatever efforts I'm making. Putting Krishna in the center. In Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela, there was a brahmachari named Suklamdar. He used to go out begging every day to about 5 houses at least. And he would just get a little bit of rice, and he'd bring it home, and he'd cook it, and he'd offer it to Krishna. And nobody knew who he was. They just thought he was a beggar. But in his heart, he was totally absorbed in remembering Krishna. One time, this simple brahmachari beggar was in a kirtan of Lord Chaitanya. Lord Chaitanya was sitting on the throne of Vishnu in Srivasa's house, and he had this little cloth bag with some of the handfuls of rice that he collected before he even cooked it. The kirtan was going, and Suklamdar was dancing blissfully. He was liberated, beyond liberation. With prema bhakti, with love of God, liberation is included. Lord Chaitanya thrust his hand by force into the bag of Suklamdar Brahmachari and was eating handfuls and handfuls of the raw rice. told Sudama that I had tasted so many things, but nothing like this. This is so good. And he said to Sudama, you are, in your previous life, you were Sudama. And I snatched rice from the bench and ate it. But this time, when Sudama went back to his hut, it was the same. So if we put the two stories together, we understand that it's not Sudama and his wife. It describes by Sukadeva Swami. It's described that because they had no attachment to anything but pleasing Krishna and serving others, their love for Krishna was growing immensely day after day after day throughout their lives. It wasn't an impediment. And the Sukadeva Brahmachari, he just remained as he was, with the same wealth that Sudama had. Radhanath, the wealth of love, the wealth of bhakti. King Pratapurudra was the king of the vast kingdom. Sukadeva Brahmachari has the same wealth. And King Pratapurudra has the same wealth as Sukadeva Brahmachari. They were both playing their roles within society in a spirit of devotion. And anyone who hears these stories, Sukadeva Goswami explains, with this hunger to come closer to Krishna, when we actually develop a taste for really hearing about Krishna, chanting the glories of Krishna, serving the servants of Krishna, Krishna reveals by His grace the awakening of the love that's within us. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Satya Kabunoi Sarvadi Sudichiti Koriyayadu. Love for Krishna is within everyone's heart. By being in the association of devotees of the Lord, by developing a taste for hearing and chanting, that love is awakened. And that love is so deep and so sweet and so real and so great that all the troubles of this world just become opportunities to express our love. And that's all that really matters. Opportunities to appreciate what no one can take away from us. Which Krishna has constitutionally given each of us. The power to love Him, to serve Him, be an instrument of His compassion in everything we do. So these are some reflections from my train ride today. When we got to SanDiego, the station, all these ladies were meeting even more ladies. Because that was just the journey to the reunion. The reunion's going on right now as we're speaking somewhere in this city. I'm so happy to be here with you. Give a couple of tea. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You want to take any questions?
Can we have kirtan?
And kirtan.
We're going to have Arti too. 5 minutes.
5 minutes of arti.
Persons are going to offer.
Could I get harmonium?
Yes.
And does anyone have questions for 5 minutes? Or Triveda Prabhu, you can recite
Okay.
transcendental sloka.
Rupa Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami prays, Manasita Puni Dushte, Labdapatos Dushte, Timandaganda Rupe, Hanta Samsara Kupe, Ajita Nikala Rakshahi, Tamundara Raksham Uplayam Mahaste Bhakti Rasam Namaste. Fallen in this deep and dark and dirty well of Maya, threatened by the snake of lust, whose venom burns like fire. Helplessly I pray, O Lord, whose strength is ne'er in doubt. Place the rope of bhakti in my hand and pull me out. Apropos of that theme that you began,
That's what I was trying to say for the last hour.
Sattenu Kampangers. In that same mood, Rupa Goswami has another verse which is quoted, Prabhupada quotes it in the second canto of purport. Virchayamai dandam dina bando dayangva katarih navavaktar kachadunyamamasti dipatatastakuti nirmalang vangdavangdaks tadavakitabayodak stuyate chatikena. The Chataka subsists on rain it catches in midair, and so is always praying to the cloud to send its fare. Yet though that cloud may send a thunderbolt instead of rain, that bird continues praying fervently despite the pain. Just like the Chataka, I fixed my mind upon one goal, and that is you, O Lord, most kind to every fallen soul. So whether it is punishment you send or mercy sweet, I'll always pray to you for service to your lotus feet.
Triveda Prabhu, you are a Chataka.
I'm thankful for giving me a chance to stroke my little doggerel.
Questions? Yes.
So if you had one piece of advice to share with everyone in the world, including yourself, based on your life experiences, what would it be?
That all of our desires, all of our frustrations, all of our longings, the source is that we've forgotten the love that's within our own hearts, the love for Krishna. By the Lord's mercy, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given us a path by which we can awaken this love. By chanting God's names, by associating with people who are really striving to awaken that love and help each other. Thank you. Yes.
How do you see Krishna in person?
Can you say it again?
How can you see Krishna in person?
In about 3 minutes, those curtains are going to Prabhupada explained, if we approach the deity as wood or stone, the deity will appear to us as wood or stone. But to the degree we actually approach the holy name of Krishna, the deity of Krishna, in a mood to serve, in a mood to please, with love, Krishna reveals himself. we're seeing Krishna, but we're about to recognize him. But as for you, you will see Krishna in about 2 minutes. He's going to play his flute for you. Thank you. Is there another question? Yes, please.
If someone is displeased with their relationship with Krishna and they want closure, how does one go about doing so, or how does one ask Krishna for help to reestablish this relationship?
With sincerity, with an actual sincere intent to live in harmony with Krishna's will. Through chanting, through hearing, through studying, through serving, through living a devotional life, free of vices. If we're just sincere to do Krishna's will, Krishna's mercy will shower upon us.
Jai. Jai.
Everyone, please.
Krishna Kristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Hare
Okay, harekrishna, everyone. Thank you very much, Radhanath Swami, for the beautiful class, for your kind association. We have, now that we prasadam served, so we need everybody to sit in nice orderly rows so we can serve our prasadam. And please don't forget, Radhanath Swami has authored a couple of very, very wonderful books. If you read these books, they're absolutely enchanting. In fact, they'll keep you up late at night because you won't be able to put them down. They're right over there in the corner, so be sure you get one of Radhanath Swami's books if you haven't gotten one already. Hare Krishna. Oh yeah. We're going to get actually a triple dose of Radhanath Swami's kind association here. He's giving Srimad Bhagavatam class in the morning, which I believe starts about 7:45 a.m. Try to come here earlier if you can. And then in the evening again tomorrow night at 6:30 we'll be having the same program. And we'll be able to hear and have some more Maharaj's association. So please plan on those events too. Thank you. That's